It has been a hot topic, no doubt. Should Nebraska approve sex ed standards? It would in part teach kids about gender identity.
Today, the Nebraska State Board of Education made steps toward adopting those standards. Tonight, we hear from both sides about this vote. Channel 8's Ariana Martinez explains what passing this motion means moving forward. Ariana?
These standards are not a done deal just yet, but this morning the State Board of Education passed a special motion on a 6-to-1 vote. They're having a HAWC committee draft all area standards, which will then be voted on by the Board of Education. Kirk Penner was the only board member who voted against this motion.
I'm interested to see, as those go to that committee and come back on the compromise, let's see if those health standards come back with some compromises here. Let's see if they come back with the same topics that has cost this board the trust and credibility of the citizens of the state of Nebraska.
Compromise was brought up a lot during this month's meeting. One idea was even shared by a parent during public comment.
I have a compromise suggestion for you. Take out the tiny part of these proposed standards that is based on political ideologies that confuse children about their identity and sexuality, and keep the vast majority of the standards that are academic and scientific and healthy in content. Would we accept them then?
The board heard public comment from a few supporters of the standards for the first time in a few months.
We should adopt the health education standards. The main reason for opposition to these standards is that they acknowledge the existence of queer people. You can't protect Nebraska children without protecting the several thousand transgender children and teens who are in Nebraska schools today.
Kirk Penner expressed that when it comes time to vote for these standards, he typically is the only one who has differing views from the other 7 board members. He has worries about these standards changing Title IX sports, among other things.
I believe that's where the board wants to go, 7 of you, not me. That's my opinion. I don't want to go down the road where we're destroying and not protecting our granddaughters and daughters and sons. That's where I'm at. Somebody's got to say it. I just happen to be the guy.
Board member Deborah Neary said Nebraska is one of only 2 states that doesn't have health education standards. She feels it is the board's moral obligation to protect all children.
Make an effort to understand the needs of all of the children in our schools across Nebraska. And there's a lot to that that is being left out of the conversation when we're just talking about your children and grandchildren.
The ad hoc committee will now move forward with drafting up standards, which will then be voted on by the Department of Education. There was no timeline given at this moment. However, the next meeting with public comment will be Friday, April 8th.